What if XRP was never meant to moon, but to be controlled? Today, Ripple faces a critical legal decision, a $200 million stablecoin move, and a chilling warning from their own legal chief. Is XRP about to be trapped in regulatory limbo forever? Top traders are sounding the alarm, analysts are flipping the narrative, and some believe world governments may already be eyeing XRP for their reserves. Could this be the beginning of XRP's ultimate rise, or its quiet submission? Let's dive in. Ripple legal chief warns crypto bill could lock XRP in endless regulatory limbo. The legal battle between Ripple and the SEC may be nearing its end, but a new threat is emerging. And this time, it's not coming from a courtroom, it's coming from Capitol Hill. Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderoty, has issued a dire warning. A new crypto bill making its way through the U.S. Congress could do something even worse than declaring XRP a security. It could trap XRP and potentially many other tokens in a state of endless legal ambiguity. Under the proposed legislation, the definitions of what qualifies as a security or a commodity are so vague that XRP might fall into a gray area with no clear regulatory home. This means Ripple could be left without a path to compliance, without a route to full legal recognition, and worst of all, without a future in the U.S. market. This bill doesn't solve anything, Alderoty said. It adds confusion, opens the door for overreach, and puts innovation at risk. And here's the catch. Even though XRP has had partial courtroom victories, this bill could override those gains entirely, stripping away clarity that Ripple fought years to achieve. So what does this mean for holders? It means XRP could be sidelined from major U.S. exchanges. It could be disqualified from participation in regulated markets. It could become an outsider in the very financial revolution it helped create. Worse yet, if passed, this bill would send a chilling signal to every blockchain project in America. We don't care if you won in court, you still lose in legislation. And investors, they'll be left wondering whether XRP is a global asset or a regulatory orphan, caught between innovation and inertia. Will Ripple fight back? Absolutely. But this time, the battlefield isn't just legal. It's political. And the stakes couldn't be higher. Ripple to acquire stablecoin platform Rail for $200 million. Impact on XRP price. While lawmakers circle and regulators stall, Ripple isn't waiting around. In a bold strategic move, the company just announced plans to acquire the stablecoin platform Rail in a deal worth $200 million. This isn't just another crypto partnership. This is Ripple expanding its arsenal and making a calculated play to dominate global liquidity. Here's why this matters. Rail specializes in infrastructure for issuing and managing stablecoins, digital assets pegged to fiat currencies like the US dollar. By acquiring Rail, Ripple gains full-stack capabilities to launch its own stablecoin product, something it has teased for months. But this deal supercharges that plan. Ripple isn't just trying to survive regulation. It's trying to control the rails of future digital finance, literally. This acquisition gives Ripple instant access to the tools and compliance tech needed to go toe-to-toe with USDC and USDT, said one analyst. It's not just a diversification play. It's about dominance. So what does this mean for XRP? The answer might surprise you. Some fear that launching a Ripple-backed stablecoin could reduce XRP's role as a bridge currency, but others argue the opposite, that stablecoins will drive even more demand for XRP by expanding Ripple's ecosystem and use cases. Think about it. Ripple's goal has always been to enable fast, low-cost cross-border payments. Stablecoins lock in value, but XRP moves it. Together, they could form a two-token system that finally bridges crypto with mainstream finance. And here's the kicker. In a future where central banks are developing digital currencies and Wall Street wants programmable money, Ripple's control of both a liquidity token, XRP, and a price-stable asset, its own stablecoin, could be the key that unlocks institutional adoption. So, while the legal fog rolls in, Ripple is building a fortress. $200 million at a time. The message is clear. Ripple is done waiting. It's buying its way into the future. Top Trader sends powerful message to XRP holders. In a market driven by noise and hype, one respected trader just cut through the fluff, and XRP holders are paying attention. Known in the crypto community as Crypto Nomad, this veteran trader with a track record of calling market tops and bottoms has issued a blunt but powerful message to the XRP army. If you're still waiting for XRP to moon overnight, you're in the wrong game. He didn't say it to discourage. He said it to wake people up. His point? While XRP's long-term fundamentals are solid and Ripple continues to build real-world infrastructure, many retail investors are still stuck in 2017 thinking, expecting sudden parabolic price spikes without understanding the broader macro shifts. Instead, he emphasized three critical points. One, XRP is evolving into an institutional asset, not a meme coin. Two, real value takes time. Utility must be fully realized and adopted at scale. Three, the market is no longer just driven by sentiment, it's driven by regulatory clarity and infrastructure moves, like the rail acquisition. And here's what hit hardest. Smart money isn't watching charts, they're watching courtrooms and acquisition deals. That message hit home because it reflects a growing realization. The next XRP bull run won't be triggered by hype, but by utility, regulation clarity, and Ripple's global positioning. For serious holders, this is a mindset shift. Patience isn't just a virtue, it's a strategy. XRP case update, SEC to deliberate Ripple's appeal withdrawal. In a legal twist that few saw coming, Ripple has officially moved to withdraw its own appeal in its ongoing battle with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. And now the ball is in the SEC's court. Why does this matter? Because by pulling back, Ripple isn't retreating. It's doubling down. Legal analysts suggest this move is strategic, not reactive. Ripple is essentially saying, we've already won the key argument. XRP is not a security in secondary markets. Now let's stop wasting time. The SEC's next step, it must deliberate whether to accept this withdrawal or attempt to prolong the case through further litigation. But every day the SEC delays, it looks more like bureaucratic resistance than regulatory enforcement. More importantly, this decision could accelerate legal finality for XRP, allow Ripple to reallocate resources to global expansion, create ripple effects, literally, for other altcoins facing similar scrutiny. But here's the real kicker. If the SEC accepts the withdrawal, it signals an end to hostilities, not just for Ripple, but potentially for crypto clarity in the US. If it fights back, it risks further alienating innovation. So today's deliberation isn't just a procedural step. It's a high-stakes moment that could tilt the scales of regulation for the entire crypto market. Here's the XRP price if governments hold it as part of their crypto reserves. Let's be blunt. Most XRP price predictions are built around retail speculation, utility in remittances, or favorable court outcomes. But there's a radically different framework that analysts are now exploring, one that reframes XRP's role entirely. What if governments start holding XRP as a reserve asset? This isn't just fantasy. Here's the math. The global foreign exchange reserve market is over $12 trillion. If even 1% of that moved into XRP, we'd be looking at an injection of $120 billion in demand. With XRP's total supply around $100 billion and circulating supply much lower, that could catapult the price to double digits or higher. Not from hype, but from institutional balance sheet adoption. Why would governments do this? Liquidity. XRP settles in seconds. That's attractive for central banks managing currency volatility. Neutrality. XRP is not tied to any nation-state, unlike USD-backed stablecoins. Interoperability. RippleNet and ODL are designed for cross-border flows, a function central banks need. This scenario flips the script. It's no longer, will XRP hit $10 because of retail euphoria? It becomes, will XRP become the digital lubricant for a multipolar, de-dollarized world? And if so, any current price predictions may be severely underestimated. The Ripple lawsuit decision, a precedent that could reshape crypto. Ripple lawsuit decision today may influence future crypto regulations and XRP market dynamics. For over 3 years, the Ripple SEC lawsuit has been the most closely watched legal drama in crypto, and now it's entering a phase that could redefine everything. Today's ruling doesn't just affect Ripple. It could set legal precedent for how crypto is treated across the United States and possibly influence global regulators watching from the sidelines. Here's what's at stake. If Ripple wins, or if the court sides with Ripple's motion to dismiss, XRP is further legitimized as not a security, reinforcing last year's partial victory. It opens the door for mass relisting on UFT exchanges, unlocking liquidity and investor access. The decision becomes a blueprint for other crypto projects defending against SEC scrutiny, especially Ethereum, Solana, and other layer 1s. If the SEC wins or the court sides against Ripple, XRP could face new hurdles in the US even if it thrives abroad. Exchanges might delay relisting or even delist again, fearing SEC retaliation. A negative ruling could embolden the SEC's aggressive enforcement strategy against the broader crypto market. Why it matters for the entire industry. This case could be the regulatory catalyst or bottleneck for the next phase of crypto adoption in the US. Congress has been waiting for court clarity. Regulators like the CFTC and SEC are in a turf war. Institutions are sitting on the sidelines, unwilling to dive in without legal certainty. A definitive ruling here could accelerate bipartisan crypto legislation, force the SEC to redraw its boundaries, set the tone for token classification in years to come. And for XRP itself, the market knows what's at stake. That's why XRP price movements have increasingly mirrored legal headlines. A favorable ruling could trigger renewed institutional interest, a shift in investor sentiment, a potential XRP-led altcoin resurgence. This isn't just a lawsuit. It's a litmus test for whether crypto can operate freely in the US or continue to fight uphill against outdated laws. Analyst says the when XRP moon question is outdated. Here's the real question. For years, XRP holders have rallied around one burning question: when moon? But according to top analysts in the space, that mindset may be holding the community back. When moon is based on the old playbook. In the past, crypto rallies were driven by retail FOMO, quick exchange listings, hype around alt-season cycles. But today's crypto landscape is completely different. Regulation, real-world utility, and institutional interest now drive long-term success, not just hype. The real question to ask is, where is XRP truly being adopted, and how fast is the ecosystem growing? Because real adoption leads to lasting price appreciation. Instead of focusing solely on price charts, savvy investors are watching on-chain volume through RippleNet and ODL, on-demand liquidity, partnerships with banks, governments, and payment platforms, global usage, especially in underbanked regions, regulatory wins that expand access. The smart XRP strategy. Now, don't chase temporary pumps. Focus on positioning yourself ahead of real inflection points. Lawsuit resolution, stablecoin acquisition like Rail, clear US regulations on crypto, government integration of XRP in reserves. In short, don't ask when XRP will moon. Ask what XRP will become when the dust settles. That's where the smart money is headed. XRP is standing at a historic crossroads. From major legal battles and billion-dollar acquisitions to global adoption scenarios and changing regulatory tides, it's becoming clear that this isn't just about price anymore. It's about power, positioning, and purpose in the new financial system. Whether it's Ripple's legal chess match with the SEC, the $200 million acquisition of Rail signaling stablecoin dominance, or bold predictions about XRP as a reserve asset, one thing is certain: the XRP narrative is evolving fast, and those who understand the deeper moves being made now will be the ones best positioned when the next crypto wave hits. Now it's your turn. Let us know in the comments. Do you think Ripple's acquisition will shift XRP's price? Is XRP becoming a serious contender for government reserves? And most importantly, are you still asking when moon, or are you asking what comes after the moon? We read every comment, and your insights help shape future videos. Don't forget to like this video if you found it valuable, subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss critical XRP updates. Share this with a fellow XRP believer or a skeptic who needs to see what's really going on. Stay smart, stay ahead, stay legendary.